The Christians have only one holy book, Bible. The Muslims have one holy book. What is it called?
Quran.
And the Hindus have many books. The most important one, what is that called?
Bhagavad Gita.
घर पे पढ़ी है लेकिन खोल के पढ़ी नहीं है. I went from Bombay to Dehradun to Delhi to Bangalore. I somehow got admission in the US, so I went to the US to study. I got married. You want to drink water? You put it in a matka and drink matka. Have water from a clay pot. It has 80 different qualities which are good. The plastic water is only one quality, which is plastic. Nothing else. In America, my Chacha, my uncle, told me this is American cow, you can eat. So I ate cow. Beef. Where's the beef? Work at home. 2004. That's when I started work at home.
Thank you so much for coming back on Soulful Therapy and giving us so much love. We promise you to bring in the podcast that will help you to grow mentally and spiritually. For today's podcast, we have with us Vivek Parshottam Bajaj. He's traveled the world. He started his journey from Mumbai and then he moved to Delhi, Dehradun and Bangalore. And eventually he moved to US. He's done his bachelor's in computer science from US itself. And then he got married in United States and got settled there. He's been running his business for last 10 to 15 years and running successfully. Towards the end, he settled in Vrindavan, and it's a beautiful story how he started his journey from Mumbai, then to US and then back to Vrindavan. In this podcast, we discuss how plastic is ruining our environment and what are the small measures that we can take to fix that. Companies are making trillions of dollars just by selling a plastic blade, and we can take small steps at home to fix that. He's beautifully discussed his childhood and his journey to adulthood. And listening to this podcast, you will realize that God has bigger plans for you and you just need to surrender to the bigger plan. In the entire podcast, he's just focused on one shloka which focuses on the food. He beautifully explains how your consciousness is directly proportional to the food that you are eating. Well, that's why they say that you become what you eat. He discusses about importance of food and why the food should be offered to the God first. For example, a father have 3 sons and he brings chocolates to all 3 of them, and one son bring that chocolate back to the father and give it to the father. His father will be really happy. He will open up the chocolate and give it back to the son. That is exactly how offering the food to Lord works. Everything is given to us by God, even food. And if we offer it back to the God, it makes him really happy. We've also discussed about how to offer the food to the God and why to do that. Let us know in the comment section your reviews on it. Please give us a thumbs up if you like the podcast and don't forget to share this podcast. Thank you so much. It means the world to me.
My name is Vivek Parshottam Das Bajaj. My Dikshit name is Vrinda Vipinesh Das. What Vrinda Vipinesh means, do you know what it means?
Vrinda is Tulsi Maharani's name.
Vrinda is Tulsi Maharani. Vipinesh is a little hard. Not many people know what it is. The way Naresh means king.
Okay.
Vipinesh means king.
Okay.
Vrindavan, the forest of Vrindavan, the king of the forest of Vrindavan, and Das means his servant. The servant of the forest of Vrindavan, a king.
That's so nice.
It took me a long time to understand. I couldn't understand till His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj explained it to me. That's when I realized.
So why do we put Das at the end of the name?
A good question. My father was named Purushottam Das.
Okay.
And they used to make fun of him, saying Das means your nokar.
Yeah.
I mean, kiska nokar? Who's nokar? He didn't know. He meant nokar of the average person. So that's how they made fun of him. Till I took initiation. And then I realized that Das means servant of Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. My son, the name on his passport was Yash.
Okay.
Yash Vivek Bajaj. And we heard the story of Ajamil. That when he died, before he died, he took Narayan's name, his son. So that looking at that story, we said, we'll call our son Krishna. So I used to call him Krishna, and his mother used to call him Kanhaiya. So together it became Krishna Kanhaiya. And from the time we heard the story when he was 3 or 4 years old, for a few years, we used to just call him. And everybody used to call him Krishna Kanhaiya because we called him Krishna Kanhaiya. But when we took him to the Hare Krishna school in Juhu Beach, then they said, no, we'll call him Yash Bajaj. His name is nowhere Krishna Kanhaiya. How do we call him Krishna Kanhaiya? So because of that, I had to spend 9 months and about $2,000 in New Jersey to change his name on the passport, on the birth certificate, from Yash to Krishna Kanhaiya.
Oh.
And then they would call him Krishna Kanhaiya Das. I said, no, he's not Das. He's not a servant. He is God. You don't want your servant, your child to be called a servant, you know. That much knowledge I had. At that time, I had no knowledge of Krishna at all. Yeah, he's God, okay, satisfied. My son's name is God, okay, my son is God, very happy. God is there in all of us, he is God, okay, he's come from God, okay. But that much knowledge that we are all servants of God, I didn't know that. I used to tell my wife, don't call him Das.
So
a few years later, I realized what Das really means. That we are the servant. Right now, an average person is the servant not of God, but of dog.
Yeah.
My in-laws, my father-in-law and brother-in-law, take their dog out, and the three of them are servants of one dog. Okay. And if they don't take the dog out, he messes up the house.
Yeah, true.
And they have to spoon feed and bottle feed the dog. The dog doesn't eat on its own. 3 meals, 4 meals, 5 meals, they have to feed the dog.
Yeah.
And when one dog dies, they get a second dog. Amazing. Tell them to do seva for God.
They can't do it. And also, like, since I stay in Australia, I see that people, carry that plastic bag.
Oh yes, for the dog potty. Amazing. We are lucky in India now. You don't have to carry the scoop and the plastic
But I mean
bag.
that how can they just do that and they can't do
It
service
is
for
pathetic.
God? Yeah.
How can you put dog shit in a plastic bag? You have a problem with the small roadside sabji wala giving a plastic bag.
Yeah.
And you're taking dog potty, putting it in a plastic bag, and the plastic and the dog potty, my goodness, it will rot all its life. 50 years, the plastic bag will be in the ground.
Yeah.
How do you take care of that plastic bag? Nothing's going to happen. I have my own way of taking care of my plastics. In fact, I got a little plastic bottle here. I learned it from somebody, I don't know who, but all my plastic goes in a plastic bottle like
Oh, that's so nice.
So this plastic bottle, somebody is going to recycle.
Yeah.
It's not going to land up in the machis. Even this waste razor blades, I'll break it and put it in the bottle.
Oh,
and it stays there. Plastic bag, little pieces of wrappers, shampoos, everything can go in a plastic bottle. And you recycle this. This is very easily recyclable. No effort at all. It stays around in the house till it's full, then you put it away. It doesn't smell, it doesn't stink. If you really want to take care of your dog, and he does potty, you take potty and put it in a paper bag.
Yeah.
And dispose of the paper bag.
Yeah.
But how can you do it in a plastic bag? It's pathetic. And then you say no to plastics. Are you a hypocrite?
That's a duality in life.
Yes. The multinational companies, this razor blade, nowhere does it say recycle, please.
Yeah.
This is made by a multinational company. And they're making a fortune, and you have a problem with a little guy who's trying to earn a living on a street corner and charging him a fine because he's using plastics.
I think everyone who's looking at it might be, encouraged to do that.
Yeah.
And I think
and all the big names have enough plastic. They have plastic water, they have plastic sodas with a little wrapper. That wrapper tears off.
Yeah.
And I'm forced to put it in a plastic bottle. I don't even drink the plastic water. I'll never touch plastic water or plastic soda. You pay me $1,000, I won't touch it. Biggest poisons.
Yeah. Plus to the nature.
You want to drink water, you put it in a matka and drink matka, clay pot.
Yeah.
Have water from a clay pot. It has 80 different qualities, which are good.
Yeah.
The plastic water is only one quality, which is plastic. Nothing else. And it's become a huge multi-trillion-dollar business. Not $1 billion business, it's $1 trillion business.
So I think moving forward, we would like to know how was your childhood? Like, where were you born and how was your journey shaped from beginning?
I was very, very lucky. As a child, I had the best of everything. My parents came from a time when it was we two and our two. So my parents had only 2 children, 2 boys, me and my 5-year elder brother. And my father, I call him a Pakistani.
Okay.
We are Sindhis from Shikarpur, Sindh, Pakistan. At that time, it was undivided India.
Yeah.
But the passport reads Shikarpur, Sindh, Pakistan. We are Shikarpuri Sindhi. That was right in the Sindh in Pakistan. So my grandparents were born there. My father had total 11 siblings. So the first 5, 6 were born in Pakistan, undivided India, till they moved to Kanpur. A few were born in Kanpur. My chachas and my father's youngest sister, and my elder brother and cousins were born in Kanpur. And I was the first one to be born in Bombay, in Khar. So my family used to do arti, the traditional Hindu arti, Om Jai Jagadish Hare,
Yeah.
in a traditional Hindu temple, which I think is about 60 years old
Yeah.
or 55 years old.
Yeah.
I still have that temple in my villa in Jew Beach. And the whole house used to get together and do arti, Om Jai Jagadish Hare. We had the full team in the temple. You name it, he was there. Shivji, Ganpati, Hanumanji. Yes, Krishna and Radharani was also there. A little Laddu Gopal may have been there. But I didn't know much of a difference. We were the typical Hindu family. Everybody stayed together, did arti together, and we would have dinner after arti. And we used to lagao bhog to Laddu Gopal. Because I remember my grandmother used to sing the arti. Billy Nike Bear, Sudam ke laddu, ruchi ruchi bhog lagao mere Prabhuji. So this was the song that they used to make an offering. However, I had to wait to go to America to learn how to make an offering to God and eat. Once you make an offering to God, what is it called?
Prasad.
Prasad. And if you don't make an offering to God and just pick it up and eat it, then what is it called?
Shit.
What?
Shit.
No, that's not what it's called. You're the first person in my 15 years of asking this question to call it that. No, that's not what it becomes.
Yeah.
Shit. Yes. Even the prasad, after 24 hours. Okay, but it has a specific name. And it is there in our holy book. Not books in the book, only one book, which is the most popular book of the Hindus. The way Hindus have many, many books. You have the 4 Vedas, my goodness, comprising of I don't know how many books. And then you have many, many little books. The Christians have only one holy book. What is it called?
Bible.
Bible. The Muslims have one holy book. What is it called?
Quran.
Quran. And the Hindus have many books. But of all those books, there's one book which is the most important one. What is that called?
Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita. I have a Hindi joke. घर पे पड़ी है लेकिन खोल के पड़ी नहीं है.
Yeah.
It's there in the house, it's kept there, but we've never opened it. I'm not talking of you, I'm talking of myself. For many, many years, I've distributed many, many Gitas. Till one person asked me, what's the most important thing in here? You're asking me to buy something, what's the most important? So I honestly don't know. I didn't, there's many things that are important.
Yeah.
But the most important, I don't know. I didn't lie to him. That was the truth. He didn't ask me, have you read it?
Yeah.
So I didn't have to, make up a story because I hadn't read even a word. And that night I went home and I started reading it. And I finished the whole Gita in one night. Not the whole Gita, but all the verses. How many verses are there in the Gita? Do you know? You don't know?
The specific number.
Okay. Do you know how many chapters?
18 chapters.
18 chapters. But how many verses? You don't know. 700. Okay. And there's each and every verse is important. But the most important verse is about
Krishna himself?
no. That 10 times he says one thing, but nobody believes him. Okay, and what that thing is, I'll tell you in a short while. But the most important thing is what my mother, a very pious lady, okay, before she went to sleep, the night before she left her body, she arranged for what she will be eating the next morning. She soaked the dal so she won't have to pressure cook it the next day.
Yeah.
Okay. She jamaud dahi, she made dahi. So they'll be trained the next day. And then she went to sleep. She didn't wake up the next morning. Okay, well planned, well organized, very good cook, very fast cook. But she never once taught me how to make prasad. And what she was feeding me for 9 months in her belly and 45 years outside is definitely not prasad. It becomes what you called it after it goes through the system. But before that, it's written in this book. Okay. This is the deluxe version. People have not seen the deluxe version. I don't see this very often. I go with a simple version. But in this book, in chapter, you don't know which chapter, 3, verse number 13. Let me see how long it takes you to open it. I think it won't take you too long, but when I give it to people, they struggle for 10 minutes to come to 3:13. According to me, that is the most important verse of the entire Gita. Why? Because at least 3 times a day, not 3 times, 6, 7 times, 8 times a day, we're putting something or the other in our mouth. And what we are putting is written here. It is definitely not prasad. It wasn't prasad for the first 45 years of my life. It ended up being what you call it. But what it is, it's written here. 3:13. Read the 3 lines at end.
Yeah, it says the
3:13. This is Sanskrit.
Yeah.
Shame. Sanskrit written in Hindi, Sanskrit in English, Sanskrit to English. Yajna-sistasinah, or food taken after performance of sacrifice of yajna. This is the 3 lines in English that I want you to read. The purport is something that you have to read at your own sweet time.
Yeah.
I don't have the time to read the purport for you, but I'll read the 3 lines. I'll make you read the 3 lines,
sure.
and you'll understand the meaning. Read loudly.
The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin.
Verily eat only sin.
Yeah.
4 words. So what was I eating for the first 45 years of my life?
Sin.
Sin. No. Are you foolish? Does he say sin? He adds 1 word, verily.
Verily.
He doesn't say they eat sin. Verily eats only sin. What does verily mean? Verily is a very new word. When I read it for the first time, I'd never heard it before, so I had to Google it.
Yeah.
In those days, there wasn't even Google. I had to open up the dictionary. Verily means 110%. In Hindi, it's spelled out Nishchit Roop Se.
Okay.
Nishchit means guaranteed, 110%, 200%. It is sin. Not a doubt about it.
Oh.
So either it is prasad. And what is prasad? What you offer to God.
God.
Once you offer it to God, He accepts it.
But I think there must be some rules because the people who are
There is a
listening
process.
to the
There is a process. There are books written on how to make an offering to Krishna. Introduction to Krishna Consciousness. There's a very thin book. It's available online. You can buy it at any of the temples worldwide.
But I think the way you cook as well, because I
Of
think
course,
both of us know
yes.
what the rules are.
I was telling you, don't offer like Duryodhana. No, Duryodhana made an offering to Krishna. Did he put onion garlic in it? What is your guess?
Maybe.
Maybe, no, he did not.
Okay.
Krishna doesn't eat onion garlic.
Yeah.
He doesn't have tea or coffee.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have mushrooms. Everything else that is vegetarian, 99.9%, he has. As long as you offer it with love and devotion. Now, did Duryodhana give it to Krishna with love and devotion? Did Krishna accept Duryodhana's offering? He made Chapan Bhog, 56 items. 56 Bhoga items for Krishna. Did Krishna accept it? Yes or no? You're not sure. No, Krishna did not accept it. Why? Can you guess why?
Because the bhav was not there.
Bhav was not there. He offered with gaman, with a lot of pride.
Ego.
Krishna, ego. I have made it for you, specially. It's wonderful items, Chapan Bhog, 56 items. All types of sweets, the best of ghees. Please have it. It's right there for you. He didn't go join hands. Please sit down, accept it. So Krishna didn't touch his offering to him because it was with pride. He left the entire place, and that's why it's called Chapan Bhog. Bhog means, what does Bhog mean?
Offering.
It means offering to God.
Yeah.
But Bhoga When you do a deed, they say in Hindi that you will bhoga what you've done. What does that mean? That you will enjoy or suffer whatever you've done. What does bhoga mean? Suffer, not enjoy. You will suffer the consequences of all the bad that you've done. That is what bhoga means. And when we give bhoga to Krishna, he bhogas it. He suffers the sin. Where is the sin in vegetarian food? It's all pure vegetarian food, right? There's no sin of killing the cow or killing the goat or the chicken. No, there is sin associated with vegetarian food too. That is why the Jains don't eat anything that's grown in the ground, because the sin for getting ground food is even more than the sin of having vegetables like tomatoes and bhindi and all other vegetables, because you are killing some organisms that are there. So you will suffer the consequences of killing those creatures. So because you don't want to suffer that, you have to offer everything to Krishna, and he takes the suffering and he suffers. What Christ says, I will suffer for you. Krishna has already done that for 5,000 years. You offer it to him, he takes the sin away, and he gives you prasad. Now who is God? There is 33 koti up there.
Yeah, this was.
Only one of them is God.
Yeah.
And who is God?
For us is Krishna.
For us, it's Krishna.
Yeah.
Okay? Even for the Christians, who is God? Jesus Christ is not God. Jesus Christ is very, very clear. The most important thing he says in the Bible is, don't know. Come to me. I will take you back to God, my Father.
Yeah.
He doesn't say God. He says God, my Father. He doesn't say who God, my Father is. Why? Because the audience is not ready to listen to that.
Yeah.
If he said God, my Father, Krishna, they would stone him. So that's why nowhere in the Bible does he say, I will take you back to God, my Father, Krishna. He quietly hides the name Krishna. He knows my Father is Krishna. Very clear. Jesus Christ is a genuine Son of God. He was sent here for a mission. Why? To save you.
Yeah.
I will take your sins on myself, and come to me, I will take you back. So that's a genuine religion. There's nothing wrong with Christianity. Nowhere in Christianity does it say that you will kill others to eat. Nowhere does it say that. Thou shalt not kill.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah, that's a full statement.
It's a full statement.
Yeah.
The person that wrote this book, you know his name?
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada. He was very clear. Don't change a word, punctuation mark, a comma, full stop in my books.
I think that's why he mentioned this book as Bhagavad Gita as it is.
As it is. What Krishna told him, he wrote down.
Yeah.
It was directly through the disciplic succession what he got from his Guru Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But simultaneously, he's also said that Krishna has come to me to tell me directly. These are his direct words. And he didn't mince his words.
Yeah. I'm just intrigued that we've been talking about spirituality a lot, but you didn't mention that. Were you introduced to spirituality or were you born with?
I was born in a very, very pious family. But my grandmother of 11 children did not teach her 11 children how to make prasad.
Okay.
My mom did not teach us how to make prasad. Both were very good cooks, very tasty food.
But you knew that prasad, like this
I had no knowledge. I just knew that this is breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
That's it.
So how were you introduced to that?
To the
knowledge?
prasad concept. Very nice. So, in my youth, I was eating Nishchit Roop Se Pav. Rarely eat only sin for 15 years. From Khar, we went to another little bigger house in Khar, and then we moved to a bungalow in Santa Cruz. And in Santa Cruz, where we got together and did the arti in the bungalow, on a 2-story bungalow, very old bungalow. And then we demolished it, made it a huge building, still owned by the family. 6-story building plus ground floor plus basement. and the family still lives there. Half the family, the other half of the family is in the US and doing business in different places in India. I did business in different places in India from the age of 15 to 19. I went from Bombay to Dehradun to Delhi to Bangalore. I traveled all over doing the family business. And then my chacha couldn't get his brother-in-law. He couldn't get a maid. I somehow got admission in the US and I got a visa. So I went to the US to study. I studied there, did my bachelor's in computer science.
Okay.
I got married. And in the US, we were together for a long time. After marriage, I became a life member. That was the best business decision, was to become a life member of iskcon. I gave them $10,000 and they gave me a life membership card. They said, you get free 3-day stay at any iskcon temple worldwide. You travel to India, you travel to America, you live there. There's many temples in America. I said, okay. And the guy's asking for money. So Hindus normally go and donate money.
So you just visited
I visited an iskcon temple. They said,
in Vrindavan or somewhere else?
no, in Juhu.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I became a life member 33 years ago and used that life membership card to stay in New York and in Pennsylvania. Even in New Jersey, there was a temple in Tobacco. Stayed there, enjoyed the stay. But none of them told me anything about spirituality. We just got the 3 days, ate their prasad, came back home and had the verily eat only sin.
Yeah.
For at least 10 years of my married life.
Sin as in not offered or?
Unoffered food.
Okay.
Unoffered food is sin. Sin. Nishchit roop se paap. Verily eats only sin.
And you mentioned me before that you were hardcore non-vegetarian as well.
Yes, yes. In America, my chacha, my uncle, my father's younger brother, Christian, told me, this is American cow you can eat. So I ate cow.
Okay.
Beef. Where's the beef? Very common dialogue in America about 35 years ago when I reached there. Where's the beef? They probably still say it now. I haven't visited back in many years. In 8 years, I haven't gone back to the US. So I was eating meat till I got married. My wife used to cook shrimp and lobster for me. And I left non-vegetarian food because of my wife. I got tired of going to places like Marriott Marquis and getting everything to eat. And she would get only what we call grass, you know?
Yeah.
Carrots and broccoli and stuff like that. When you look at it, it's not palatable.
Yeah.
They'll charge you $100 for it, but it's not palatable. So I got tired of it, and then we started going to Chinese buffets and telling them, please make food for us with lots of onion and garlic. So I said, I will eat your type of food just to keep you happy.
Yeah.
So then every time we went out to eat, we ate the same thing.
We've reached until a point. I think we get deviated in the conversation.
Anyway, because I get carried away, I get lost in my life.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So
I read somewhere that when an old person is talking, I'm not an old person.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm 16 at heart. So you let him talk because he's walking through his memory lane and he's enjoying it.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway,
So, but just to, cut it down a little because we were short on time. Basically, we've reached a point where you've left the non-vegetarian food for your wife. And then what I'm really interested to know is that how were you introduced to some kind of higher power or, any spiritual journey?
Good you asked that question because I want to tell you about that. One fine day, she's talking to these Hare Krishna walas and she comes home and she tells me, Prasad khayega, pap khayega. Will you eat prasad or will you eat sin? Okay? If your wife asks, you're not a married man.
No.
If your wife or your mother asks you that question or your girlfriend asks you that question, what are you going to tell her?
Prasad.
No. That's not what I told her.
Oh, is it?
Yes. What do you think I told her?
Sin?
No.
Nothing.
Whatever you give me, I will eat. I don't have a choice.
Probably I'm not married.
You're not married. That's why you don't know. You
So I fail at this question.
Yeah. If your girlfriend tells you, I want to go to Domino's, you're not going to go to Pizza Hut. You have to go to Domino's even if you have a coupon for Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Right? So same way, well, if you want to eat prasad, you have to leave onion and garlic. So I tell her, if you're eating more than me, and you're the one that's buying it and cooking it. So if you want to leave it, I'll also leave it. What's the big deal? So in one day, we took out $1,000 worth of groceries from my refrigerator, freezer, and pantry. It was in December. I remember because it was frozen outside. Took everything out and put it on the sidewalk. I called my employees. I told them there's a lot of very good food, but $1,000 worth, which I've taken out from the freezer. We've stopped eating the onion garlic, and I don't want to throw it in the garbage. So you guys can come to the house and pick it up. Well, I said, you're stupid, you're doing all that. Whole day the stuff was kept out. Okay, she said, everything is still there. Next morning when we woke up, the garbage is still there, but the food is gone.
Oh.
Everything was gone. Of the 5-10 employees I had, at least 2-3 may have come in and taken whatever they wanted. And we became pure prasad khanewalas.
Oh,
Only eating prasad, nothing else.
so that is how you were introduced to.
By her. And they didn't even read her this verse. They just told her the meaning.
Oh.
And she asked me.
The conversation that we are having, this very important. I think from the vibe which I'm getting from you is that you hold prasadam very much importance in your life. The food, you become what you eat. Basically, that's you live by that.
My wife says I'm eating all day. All I'm doing is eating and sleeping.
But you're eating prasadam, so
At least I'm eating prasad.
there's no sin in it.
There is no sin in it.
So, my next question to you is how long have you been staying in Vrindavan for?
That also my wife. Okay, she's the only reason I came to Vrindavan. I'm staying in Vrindavan. I do travel. She doesn't leave Vrindavan. We came here in 2004
Okay, so
for
probably-
Radhanath Maharaj's Vrindavan Yatra.
Okay.
3,000 devotees all over the world, traveling around in 40 buses. The buses are snaking through the streets of Braj. Amazing yatra of my life. I did not know how to wear dhoti kurta there. They told me you have to wear dhoti kurta, you have to have a bead bag, and you have to be chanting so many rounds. So my mind, I said, are you crazy? And then listen, these, like I told you, if I have to take my wife to Europe, it's going to cost a lot of money. Going in Bombay will cost some money, but a village in Vrindavan, UP, it's a fraction. Okay, I will be a vacation.
It's like
That's what she wants to do. I'll save a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Let's do it. And I really enjoyed it. Believe it or not, in those days, the phones used to be 1 or 2 lakh rupees, the little tiny phones, mobile phones. I used to connect my laptop to the wired phone. That's how I got my internet. And I used to do business in the US while we are traveling around Braj in the Vrindavan Parikrama.
Okay.
It was called Vrindavan Parikrama, but we were traveling all over Braj. Because all of Braj is Vrindavan. And I was doing business in America using that phone, and I didn't lose a penny. It was like I'm living in America, I'm earning in America, and work at home.
Yeah.
2004. That's when I started work at home. And it wasn't even home, it was in Braj.
Yeah.
So Braj is my real home.
Yeah.
And after that, we went back to America, we did business. We came back few times, back and forth, back and forth. My parents left their body in 2003. That was the first time we came to India after a while. And between 2003 and 4 is when we got bombarded with these Hare Krishna walas in Santa Cruz and Juhu, Bombay, and in the New Jersey. And in that time, 2003, 4, and 5 is when we always wanted a house by the beach. I looked at houses in New Jersey, New York. I even went to Canada. So many places, but couldn't buy anything. Saw stuff in Brazil, but Brazil was too far out. Couldn't buy it. So 2 beachfront houses in Brazil, reasonably priced in those days, couldn't buy them. Finally, in Bombay, we found something and we bought that. And when I go to Bombay, I live there. It's very close to the Jew temple.
Yeah.
In 2006 is when my wife came on the, you asked that question, on the 4-Dham Yatra, and finally they ended in Vrindavan. And they stayed in Vrindavan for a few days. And my wife and my father-in-law went to see a flat that was under construction. And the guy said, we started doing the booking at 1,300 rupees a square foot. Now it's 1,600 rupees a square foot. If you want to buy, you do your booking and you go. So they saw it. They didn't give him any money. And they left. 1,600 rupees a square foot, 1,000 square foot flat, 16 lakh rupees. So me and my wife again came to Vrindavan
Mm.
after 6 months, happened to be at the same building. And he says, "Oh, I remember you. Once you see my wife, you cannot forget her." Okay. So you were here 6 months ago. So, but he said, now the rates have gone up. It was 1,600 and now it's become 1,700 rupees a square foot, 1,000 rupees more. So 1,000 rupees multiplied by 1,000 square feet is 1 lakh rupees.
Yes.
1 lakh rupees was a lot of money
At that
15
point
years
of
ago.
time as well.
Even today, it's a lot of
Yeah,
money.
but at that point, it was
Yeah,
like,
it was even more.
yeah,
It was like 10 lakh or 1 crore rupees.
Yeah.
So he tells her, had you given me 5,000 rupees, I would have booked it for you and you would have gotten that rate. Today the rate is 1,700 rupees. She spoke to the manager, then she spoke to the builder in Agra. So said, here's 5,000 rupees, write me a receipt, book the rate. So he booked the rate for 1,700 rupees a square foot, and we went back to America. 6 months later, I get a call from him. Maybe we were in Bombay or America, wherever we gave him both the numbers. And I'm asking my wife that Vrindavan Wala is calling. He says, shall I send you your 5,000 rupees back or you want to buy the flat? She said, no, we want to buy the flat. So he said, you send some money. So she tells me, you have money to send it. I said, I never have any money. I had 5,000 bucks I gave him. She said, okay, tell me we'll send money. Yeah, we'll send you money very soon. She says, because you've told me that you'll send money, I will tell you the rate has gone up from 1,700 to 2,300.
Okay.
So if you don't want it, you release it to us. We'll sell it for you for 2,300, and you'll make 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. You'll make 6 lakh rupees profit by investing 5,000 rupees. Telling my wife, not bad idea.
And you said you're Sindhi.
I'm Sindhi. So let's make the 6 lakh rupee profit on 5,000. Yeah. That's the best gain I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Okay, but she was much smarter than me, obviously.
Yeah.
She said, no, don't sell it. Tell him we'll send money. And the minute she said we'll send money, I got money from somewhere, and we made good on our word. Devi said, yes, we didn't have money, but Krishna sends money. Like maybe nothing moves without my sanction, because she said yes, and I happily said yes. I said, what's the difference? I don't have the money anyway. So telling him, yes, I'll send it. God has to send.
Yeah.
Okay, at that time I had realized, because from 2004 to 2006, 7, 3-4 years, I was following my wife to all the programs and the lectures and the kathas and the prasadam. I had eaten enough Krishna prasadam for 4 years to realize that, there's a more superpower. I always knew that there's a superpower. That is Krishna, I didn't know that.
That's so nice. Probably we'll end it up here. Thank you so much for coming. It was really nice and inspiring. As I said, this might be just the part 1 of the talk. We should definitely have a part 2 because there's a lot more to get to know from you. And I think whoever's listening will be very much interested to know more. I'm definitely 100% sure about it. So we'll probably make another part 2 of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.